thank you for joining Afiat TV News tonight. I am Amazing Grace Ajayi. And on our headline stories, Governor Mba identifies cotton farming as a veritable venture for economic diversification. In Abuja, Senate Committee oversees 2025 UTME. On our business desk for tonight, NEC approves establishment of Cotton and Textiles Board. On the foreign scene, Trump's envoy Witkoff meets Putin for the 4th time. Details of the stories right here on Afiat TV News tonight. Do stay tuned. Enugu State government has identified cotton farming as a veritable venture for economic diversification and the creation of employment opportunities. The state governor, Dr. Peter Mbahu, made the observation at the flagging-off ceremony of the 2025 cotton season held at the state secretariat, noted that the state is blessed with fertile soil and favorable climate conditions for cotton cultivation, encouraged farmers to explore the various avenues available, including the use of the state's land bank and the farm estates to develop both smallholder and commercial cotton farms. Dr. Mba, represented by the State Commissioner for Agriculture and Agro-Industrialization, Honorable Patrick Ubru, said the state government remains committed to agricultural development, stating that his administration is poised to creating an enabling environment for farmers to succeed. Also speaking, Enugu State Farm Estate Consultant and the Managing Director, Ugu Anama Farms, Alhaji Friday Sani Naji, while describing cotton as a multi-billion naira business, advised the youths to take advantage of the farming. Afiat TV's Marvelous Apuamaga has the story.
The smart school is an evidence of tomorrow is here. In fact, there should be Smart School 2.0.
A thought-provoking conversation on leadership and national development took center stage on Thursday at the International Conference Center in Enugu during the inaugural session of Nigeria Hamilton Project. The dialogue, which was organized by the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, is designed to connect academic research with practical policymaking. It spotlighted Professor Osita Obu's influential work, Development as Attitude, How National Progress is Shaped by Leadership Philosophy and Citizens Orientation. Speaking to Afiat TV, Nana Ude, a board member of the Nigerian Economic Summit Group, highlighted the inspiration behind the project and its timely
Education
relevance.
is that which keys us into a world of development. When you still go to school, then you go into a literary where people can read and write, then you start meeting other cultures, other civilizations, then you go into that which makes us human, the civilization of the soul, that a human being has a culture of the heart. So education brings development that is purposeful forward. Therefore, an attitude in development is important, and that's what a book written by Professor Osita Obu has tried to teach us.
Professor Obu shared insights into the motivation behind his book, emphasizing the role of leadership mindset and citizen engagement in shaping national outcomes.
You know, we're all in search of development for Nigeria and development for the continent. And as an economist, a researcher, a development practitioner, a thinker, public intellectual, it's our duty to be in this continuous search for solutions. And I realized over the years, from my research, my traveling, that it's not just leaders, it is what the leaders bring. The ideas, their values, their knowledge, their ethics, their ideology. What they bring into office is what matters. When leaders are not clear-headed, they don't know what they stand for, it's difficult for them to govern. And I think that's why we put this book together, to begin to engineer that kind of conversation.
Also weighing in, Professor Ike Monso described education as a critical pillar of development, underscoring its centrality in the book's message.
Two things. One, the NESG is a policy think tank that promotes a private sector economy and it tries to move Nigeria towards achieving a globally competitive economy. And in doing so, we have a solid tradition in organizing dialogues, mostly in Lagos and Abuja, on specific sectors of the economy that we believe will transform the Nigerian economy. The big platform is, of course, the summit itself, from where we derive our name, the Nigerian Economic Summit that has been going on since 1993. This year we are going to host the 31st Economic Summit. It's the biggest platform for public-private dialogue. So that's what we do. Now, when this book was published by Professor Osita Ogbu, and in NESG, we read the book, largely the NESG community, and it triggered a couple of questions that surround the work that we've been doing. And we just believed that this should be a platform for promoting dialogic environment, not just within our traditional Lagos and Abuja, but even taking it across the country. And so that gave rise to the Hamilton Project in conjunction with our partners, the Gates Foundation. As you have heard, the Hamilton Project is named after one of the founding fathers of the United States of America, Alexander Hamilton, who also promoted discourses out of the process of writing the U.S. Constitution. Discourses that are nation-building in nature. And so this book seemed to us like a solid body of knowledge around nation-building. And we, as a group, as a think tank, are strongly convinced that if we take the conversations that this book has elicited across the country, it's going to build the foundations of a stronger, more viable economic nation for the country. And so that's really why we decided to not only invest in this, but also take it across the country, beginning here in Enugu, which incidentally is the home state of the author himself, Professor Osita Ogbu.
Felix Namani, Enugu State Commissioner for Water Resources, noted that attitudinal challenges vary among individuals, but commended the state governor for his progressive approach.
When it comes to attitudinal challenge, it varies from individuals. Okay, for instance, a lot of people are humble, some are educated, some are challenged because they are not much educated. Okay, but the issue is that we, as appointees in government, okay, is you have to follow the ideals and the body language of the principal who actually had the concept ab initio. You know, it takes a lot for somebody to win an election. If the governor has come now, is fully made up. He has a philosophy, he has policies that this is how I want to go. That's what Osita Ogbu has demonstrated when he was talking about the budget. That he followed the budget presentation of Enugu State Governor is the highest when it comes to education for this fiscal year. I think His Excellency is performing in line with what the professor of the university had educated us today. Thank you.
Beloved Dan Anike, Executive Chairman of Enugu East Local Government, emphasized the importance of leaders having a philosophy that can be passed down through generations.
By the time Number came talking about disruptive innovation, a whole lot of people could not download what is disruptive innovation. What's going to, people actually say destructive, going to destroy. It's not, the philosophy is not about destroying what is already there. It's about disrupting the way things are being done, the way, the manner, the process, the product. Because when the process is right, the product is guaranteed. So he came in education, in health. He came up with innovative putting this ordering. This is where it has to be scattered. No, let's scatter it and order it more. It means I want to start afresh. I want to start a new type of education that we'll now talk about in the next 20 years, in the next 10 years, in the next 50 years. In the next 50 years, the education philosophy that's been developed in Enugu State will the product, which is going to be our children, will now be globally competitive. So that's quite a philosophy. So that philosophy is our ability to carve out programs and projects that will impact on the life of the people, both the people you meet and the people that come before.
The event featured panel discussions, a question and answer session, networking opportunities, and a book signing. It encouraged both leaders and citizens to rethink their roles in building a better Nigeria. In Enugu, Marvelous Apwamaga, reporting for Afia TV.
The United Nations Children's Fund, UNICEF, has declared open the World Immunization Week program with the theme Immunization for All is Humanly Possible, calling on the government at all levels to strengthen healthcare services and enlighten members of the public on the importance of immunization and vaccination. Chief of Field Office, UNICEF Enugu, Mrs. Juliet Chiluwe, made the call at the two-day multi-zonal media dialogue on 2025 World Immunization Week in 12 states of Abia, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Bayelsa, Benue, Cross River, Ebonyi, Enugu, Rivers, Delta, Imo, Kogi, held in Enugu. In her address at the event, Chiluwe said the dialogue will help promote and provide quality immunization services to everyone, especially the children, and commended the state governments for their contribution that complements UNICEF's efforts and builds momentum on progress made so far by continuing to provide budgetary allocations to ensure they get to the last mile, where every eligible child gets life-saving vaccines to survive and reach their full potentials. Earlier, the communications officer UNICEF Enugu, Dr. Ijoma Onoha Ogwe, noted that the Immunization Week celebrated in the last week of April aims to promote the life-saving power of immunization to protect people of all ages against vaccine-preventable diseases. In a significant move to combat youth unemployment and foster inclusive economic growth, the Enugu SME Center has announced the launch of the Nkwadoha Skills Development Program. This groundbreaking initiative, which will commence in July 2025, aims to train over 500 young men and women in essential vocational skill sets, focusing particularly on critical technical construction trades such as plumbing, masonry, tiling, electrical installation, welding, and carpentry. Speaking in an interview, the director of the Enugu SME Center, Honorable Arinze Chilo Ofia, noted that the program is a vital step towards equipping youth with the skills they need to thrive in today's job market. Honorable Chilo Ofia added that the training aligns with the forthcoming operationalization of the Enugu Science, Technical, and Vocational Schools Management Board, which would oversee all TVET institutions in the state, ensuring standardization, quality control, and scalability. Meanwhile, the Nkwadoha initiative, which is being implemented in partnership with GIZ, Sky, and Godfrey Okoye University, is part of a comprehensive statewide strategy to revolutionize skills development and job creation in Enugu. The management of the National Youth Service Corps has expressed heartfelt gratitude to the Main Power Electricity Distribution Limited for fulfilling its promise of providing 12 hours of electricity daily at the Ogu Orientation Camp. In a statement released by Oluwakemi Awolola, the state coordinator for NYSC Enugu State, the Corps members celebrated the significant improvement in power supply, stating for the first time in a long while, the camp has experienced uninterrupted power supply for over 8 hours at a stretch. A remarkable milestone for the camp and a testament to Main Power commitment. Awolola highlighted the positive impact of this development on both the Corps members and the officials at the camp. The management maintained that the NYSC Ogu Orientation Camp has seen a notable enhancement in its facilities and overall atmosphere for marking a new chapter in the experience of the Corps members. And now we go over to Ebonyi State, where the government has reiterated its commitment to improving the educational sector of the state. The State Commissioner for Education, Professor Paul Nwobashi, made this known during the 2025 Made in State Congress organized by the All Nigeria Confederation of Principals of Secondary Schools, ANCOPS, in Abakaliki. Professor Nwobashi, who acknowledged some past failures in the sector nationwide, stated that the Ebonyi State Governor Francis Nwifuru, in his pursuit of the People's Charter of Needs agenda, has prioritized education as the foremost focus of the current administration, and revealed that while 36 modern school projects are ongoing, an additional 26-story buildings, each with 12 classrooms, are also being erected in various parts of the state to enhance public school infrastructure. Around the world and across Nigeria, you're watching Afia TV News. We'll take a break now. When we come back with stories on the national scene, to stay tuned.
So you're wondering what the Brand Wars is about? Come, let me tell you. The Brand Wars is a reality TV business game show. From business-themed games to business-themed tasks, the Brand Wars seeks to solve real-life branding challenges. Shh! Are you aware that 25 million naira worth of prizes are up for grabs? This includes 10 million naira cash, free business advertisements on DSTV and GoTV for 30 days, and an all-expense-paid weekend getaway at the landmark Nikkei Lake Resort. Oh, by the way, registration and voting is open. And it's just, hold on, 100 naira only. To register and vote, visit www.fonziweb.com/brandwars or download the Fonzie app on Google Play or iOS stores now. For inquiries, call 091 55 33 49 49. Now that you know, what are you waiting for? Register now. Proudly brought to you by Fonzie and Landmark Africa Group, season sponsors, and supported by Afia TV, Afia 99.3 FM, Market Studio, Zoe Multimedia Studios, and Obalende, Enugu.
History is calling. The world is coming to Enugu State. The very first Enugu City International Marathon is finally here. That's right. On the 3rd of May 2025, athletes from across the globe will take the very first steps of greatness on the streets of Enugu, supervised by World Athletics and powered by the strength and spirit of the coal city. Are you ready to run? Are you ready to make history? Register now. Visit www.enugucitymarathon.com or pick up your forms at the marathon offices at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Akbara Square, or at the State Secretariat, Enugu. This is your moment. The road to greatness begins now. This marathon is brought to you by the Enugu State Government and supported by Pinnacle Oil, Afia TV and Radio, RC Cola, Aqua V, and other proud partners, and is brought to you by Nilayo Sports Management Limited.
To Afia TV News tonight and on national stories. The Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TET Fund, led by Senator Muntari Dutse, played an active oversight role during the 2025 Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination (UTME). The committee commended the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board, JAMB, for its robust surveillance systems and proactive measures to ensure the integrity of the examination process. Committee members personally visited examination centers in Abuja to monitor proceedings, urging students to avoid malpractice and praising the peaceful conduct observed at the centers. The Senate Committee expressed willingness to support legislative changes to strengthen anti-malpractice measures.
Of the foundation of tertiary institutions, the JAMB is undertaking its examination. That is why we are going for oversight as stakeholders from the Senate of the National Assembly. It's part of the educational system, which under the 10th Assembly ensures that Nigeria is set in a global arena as regards the educational system. this is one of the foundations that makes education, and to be in the universities, you have to write these exams. And you have seen it yourself, and I believe it's very commendable and it's very important for us today.
Your assessment,
in actual sense, if you look at it, it's well prepared and it is very satisfied. What they are doing it in batches because of the number of intakes, those that are going to write the exams. I think today they have 3 batch, and the first batch is almost finishing. So the second batch are the ones on the queue, so that they can enter and write the exams. So it's commendable and it's well arranged and well prepared. We want to appreciate the effort of the registrar of JAMB, who is highly transparent and very commendable in terms of what he has done. He has bring transparency and also sanity in all the exams malpractices in the JAMB setup. So we are commendable for what he has done.
Are there areas of improvement that you think? Are there areas you think JAMB can improve?
What is important and very fundamental, JAMB has taken care of, even if there is any malpractice or anything, because I have seen it as a stakeholder when we have a retreat with them, they even discover those that steal some of the livestock, so they have a tracker to ensure that everything is monitored, and they have CCTV to monitor all the sites throughout the country. And also they set a standard of making sure that any person will be admitted without the due approval, without passing the exam. So this is commendable, and I think it's timely to support and enhance educational system in Nigeria. Our essence as lawmakers is to ensure that all Nigerians are supposed to study in Nigeria so that we can develop this country. We have no other countries than Nigeria. We have to work very hard to ensure that these children are studied well and deserve to be given the opportunity to serve in their capacity as future leaders, so that they can be trained professionally in all aspects of academic excellence. So in the field of science, in the field of art, in the field of medical and other related courses. So it's commendable for the effort of JAMB. Thank you.
Thank you, Chairman.
The Senate Committee on Tertiary Institutions and TED Fund is closely monitoring the 2025 UTME supporting JAMB's anti-malpractice innovations. The Senate President, Godswill Akpabio, is heading a high-level Nigerian delegation to attend the funeral of Pope Francis, the head of the Roman Catholic Church in the Vatican City, on Saturday. And this was disclosed in a statement signed by the Special Advisor to President Tinubu on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, on Friday. Tinubu sent the 5-member delegation, which includes the Minister of State Foreign Affairs, Ambassador Bianca Odumegu Ojukwu, President of the Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria, Archbishop Lucius Iwejuru Ugoji, Archbishop of Sokoto Diocese, Archbishop Matthew Hassan Kuka, and the Archbishop of Abuja Diocese, Archbishop Ignatius Ayua Kaigama. The statement added that the delegation will formally deliver a letter conveying President Tinubu's sympathy and condolences on Pope Francis's passing to the acting head of the Vatican. And now we go over to the business segment, where the Nsukka Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, in collaboration with the Nsukka Professionals Association, Lagos, has organized a business forum. And our business correspondent, Choma Balana, reports that the event took place at the Princess Alexandra Auditorium. The University of Nigeria Nsukka tagged Rethinking Nsukka's Economic Development Strategies.
Economic growth is essential as it leads to increased production of goods and services, which in turn raises living standards, reduces poverty, and also enables the government to provide public services. This specifically is a reason for rethinking Nsukka's economic development strategies for the betterment of the people of Nsukka. Professor Osita Obu, the chairman of the event, gave the opening remark as he emphasized the need for the University of Nigeria Nsukka to be well established for graduates of the school to be able to practice their respective professions.
So as we gather today, unfortunately, anytime we have an academic event, an event that requires us to think and to vision and to plan for the future, you will get a call more than half empty. But if this was a political rally, I think there will be no space. So it is part of what we need. It is the general malaise in the entire country. Take your mind around the world, including Nigeria. If one Onyobo, a successful businessman who has a PhD, we claim zillions of professors. But as time you have that 10 million, we can't even contribute 1 million out of the 10. So our mindset must be such that in a way IQ, but in a way emotional intelligence. One that drives us to go into businesses and do things and be achievers.
He highlighted the reason for the events.
The only industry in Nsukka seems to be the university. And in my view, the university has done a lot, but there are gaps. The university has not attracted industries, has not had a university of this nature, which is a land-grant university, was set up not just to train students, but in fact to train students even in vocation. So they are supposed to be learning and practicing.
Mr. Sam Otobueze, a lawyer and president of the Nsukka Chamber of Commerce, Industry, Mines and Agriculture, in a welcome address, made this request to the governor of Enugu State.
If you ask me what should be taken to the governor as our request today, and which I know is contained in the address, one, I will ask the Excellency, please, kindly, for the good of the economic growth of the state, designate the Nsukka Cultural Zone as a priority economic development zone. Secondly, we ask passionately for the establishment of Nsukka Chamber and Enugu State Government Joint Investment Facilitation Desk. Finally, but not all, but the key, to kindly give us a permanent site with an office complex for the chamber.
He emphasized the challenges faced in the course of planning the events.
Challenge of pettiness, because when you expect that people, those who need to know, they rather start putting stumbling blocks on your way. Is the biggest challenge you have.
The Commissioner for Finance and Economic Development, Enugu State, Dr. Nathaniel Orama, representing Governor Peter Mbah, spoke on what the administration has been able to achieve.
His Excellency, Dr. Peter Mbah, took office as the Governor of Enugu State barely 2 years ago. And even before taking that position, he had his political manifesto, which was anchored on 3 major things. Number one is that he came to move the economy of Enugu State from $4.4 billion where he met it to $30 billion in the year 2031. That is the number one and the key mission of His Excellency in this state. The second one is that we want to imbibe the culture of transparency, traceability, and accountability in the leadership of Enugu State. Then, the third one is that he wants to reduce the poverty head count in Enugu State to 0 by the year 2021. And I'll conclude by telling the Nsukka Chamber of Commerce that, yes, I got the message that you say that you sent across, and I'm assuring you that the message will get to His Excellency undiluted.
The keynote speaker, Professor Franklin Nungu, emphasized value creation and partnering with the governor for the 30 billion naira projects.
So, I'm going to shock you that the governor said that he wants to achieve 30 billion GDP economy, and people are questioning it. I am saying that the Nsukka zone can surpass 30 billion GDP economy. If a university can contribute $40 billion, I believe that the zone can do a lot better. The only thing remains.
Participants at the event also shared their thoughts.
So the major thing we are doing today is how to organize Nsukka people. We are not here for politics. We are here to arrange our youth, arrange the women, and let us be carrying everybody to the same direction, so that we can make use of what God given to us and prepare for our future, prepare our children for their growth.
It's a wonderful thing. What the Nsukka Chamber of Commerce is doing, or is trying to do, is that they want to align quickly with what the governor is doing, with the vision of the governor. Because the vision of the governor is to take Enugu State from where it is economically to a very high level, economically, from $4.4 billion to $30 billion.
As the people of Nsukka, Enugu State, re-strategize their economic development, there can hopefully be only room for productivity. Reporting from the University of Nigeria, Nsukka, Choma Okbala for IFA TV News.
The National Economic Council, NEC, has approved the establishment of a National Cotton and Textile Board to coordinate the planned resuscitation of the cotton and textile industries in Nigeria. Imo State Governor Hope Uzodinma revealed this while briefing journalists at the end of Thursday's meeting of NEC, presided over by Vice President Kashim Shettima. Governor Uzodinma said the move is aimed at further boosting the economic reforms program of the current administration. Imo State Governor said after interfacing with representatives of the cotton and textile sector, the council was satisfied with their recommendations and endorsed the establishment of a board and 6 regional offices that will coordinate the activities of the sector, leading to the revival of hitherto moribund cotton and textile industries.
And council considered that to make it more functional, that their proposal for a public-private partnership where government will partner with the private sector to put this sector back to order, and that whoever that will be the chairman will come from the private sector, and the body should be funded from the textile import levy currently being collected by Nigerian Customs. So council endorsed the presentation and approved the establishment of a national office and regional offices in each of the 6 geopolitical zones.
Nigeria's Economic Council also approved the establishment of the Green Imperative Project National Office in Abuja and regional offices across the 6 geopolitical zones of the country. Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Abba Kyari, who disclosed this, said GIP will help in addressing the crisis fueled by the current system of animal husbandry in the country.
Council received both recommendation and also considered the following prayers: to acknowledge the GIP setting of regional offices across the 6 geopolitical zones, and also to endorse the regional offices of the Green Imperative across those states, and the states are also encouraged to participate, because what this seeks to do is to catalyze. The $1.1 billion is to draw up core investments, private sector driven, from all other investment promotions.
Meanwhile, the National Economic Council deferred discussions on the proposed establishment of state police due to time constraints during its extended meeting at the council chambers. Bayelsa State Governor Doyediri confirmed that the matter was on Thursday's agenda but could not be discussed due to the limited time available. Governor Diri, alongside his counterparts Abdullahi Sule of Nasarawa, Hope Uzodinma of Imo, Biodun Oyebaji of Ekiti, and the Minister of Agriculture and Food Security, Senator Abubakar Kyari, briefed the press.
agenda today. State police was part of our agenda today. But unfortunately, because of time demands, and after a very long, we have been there for a very long time now, the presentations were unable to get to that bit of it. So I can assure you that in our next meeting, that issue will be exhaustively discussed. Thank you.
The briefing shifted focus to other agenda items tackled during the meeting, particularly in the agriculture sector. Governor Abdullahi Sule addressed lingering concerns surrounding the National Livestock Transformation Plan, NLTP, a key initiative aimed at curbing farmer-headed conflicts through modern ranching systems.
The minister has already identified all the various technical schools owned by the federal government, and they have worked on equipping the schools, and they are working now on ensuring that there are enough technical teachers in order for the program to be successful. So the minister was asking council and all the members of council, especially the state governors, to also participate in this new initiative so that now we will continue to reduce unemployment, because once people acquire skills, whether it is in the area of welding or in the area of carpentry, fabrication, ICT, and all these various technical skills, then once trained, they are no longer people looking for jobs in the market. They become employers of labor.
The council, which had held a minute of silence to honor victims of recent violent attacks in Plateau and Benue states, emphasized the growing urgency of addressing the state police initiative amid escalating security concerns nationwide. And we move over to the foreign scene, where U.S. President Donald Trump's envoy, Steve Witkoff, has met President Vladimir Putin in Moscow to discuss a U.S. plan to end the Ukraine war on terms that Kiev and its European allies fear are too advantageous to Moscow. Witkoff has emerged as Washington's key interlocutor with Putin as Trump pushes for a deal to end the war. His latest trip follows talks this week at which European and Ukrainian officials pushed back against some of the U.S. proposals for how to settle the conflict. Meanwhile, Witkoff's latest visit comes a day after Trump criticized a Russian missile and drone attack on Kiev that killed at least 12 people. And we go over to the world of sports, where Nigeria's senior women's basketball team, the Tigress, is being drawn in Group D of the 2025 FIBA Women's Afro Basket alongside Mozambique and Rwanda as they prepare to defend their continental crown for a fifth consecutive time. The draw, held ahead of the tournament scheduled to take place later this year, has placed the reigning champions in what many consider a competitive group, with both Mozambique and Rwanda showing marked improvement in recent years. The Tigers, who have dominated African women's basketball over the last decade, will be aiming for an unprecedented fifth consecutive title, having emerged champions in the 2017, 2019 and 2021 editions. Up next is our conversation segment. We'll talk to Dr. Chikezie Obasi on World Malaria Day. Do stay tuned.
Here is exciting news.
Registration for the Brand Wars Business Game Show has been extended to May 11th, 2025.
Are you ready to take your business to the next level and win 25 million Naira worth of prizes?
Whether you're a seasoned business mogul or an aspiring game changer, Brand Wars is your stage to shine.
To register for 100 Naira only, download the Funzi app on Google Play and iOS stores. Funzi is spelt as F-U-N-Z. Fill in your data and verify your email. Upload a 30 seconds video stating why you want to compete. Then get your friends to vote for you.
Hurry, the clock is ticking. For inquiries, call, send SMS or WhatsApp message to 09155334949. That is 09155334949. You've got until May 11th to secure your spot and be part of the action. Brand Wars, where business meets battle.
Proudly brought to you by Funzi in Landmark Nikkei Resort, season sponsors, and supported by Afia TV, Afia 99.3 FM, Market Studios, Zoe Multimedia Studios, and Oberlinde Enugu.
History is calling. The world is coming to Enugu State. The very first Enugu City International Marathon is finally here. That's right. On the 3rd of May 2025, athletes from across the globe will take the very first steps of greatness on the streets of Enugu, supervised by World Athletics and powered by the strength and spirit of the coal city. Are you ready to run? Are you ready to make history? Register now. Visit www.enugucitymarathon.com or pick up your forms at the marathon offices at the Nnamdi Azikiwe Stadium, Akbara Square, or at the State Secretariat. Enugu, this is your moment. The road to greatness begins now. This marathon is brought to you by the Enugu State Government and supported by Pinnacle Oil, Afia TV and Radio, RC Cola, Aqua V, and other proud partners, and is brought to you by Nilayo Sports Management Limited.
He is naturally funny. He is spontaneous. He is fearless. He is Funny Bone. Enugu, get ready for the biggest comedy show in Nigeria. Funny Bone Live. Timeless. Featuring Dandy Humorous, MC Monica, Sawan, Ogwefi, Albino Brothers, Twin Sparrow, Frances, music by Duncan Mighty, Jerick, and lots more. Date, Sunday, May 4th. Venue, Amadio Event Center. Time, 6 p.m. Tickets, regular 7K, VIP 20K, Gold Table, 1 million naira, Premium Table, 2 million naira. Go get your tickets now at all Kilimanjaro outlets, Market Square, Akarogbe, Ntachiosa, funziweb.com/event. For inquiries and ticket delivery, call 0812-728-6773. Proudly supported by Dino Milk, Minimi Noodles, Live Beer, Feiruz, Tiger Beer, Optiva Capital. Funny Bone Live.
Enugu, only on Afia TV and channel 254 DSTV and channel 17 Ungo TV.
Time check, it's 2 p.m. and it's time for us to vibe, chill, and relax. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break on Afia TV. So Lunch Break is all about the music, it's all about fun, it's all about entertainment, it's all about entertaining gossip and stories from social, it's all about the latest trends, it's about what's lit, it's all about the games with our guests, and yes, in general, I like to say it's all about the vibes and vibes only.
Good evening to you, viewer, and welcome to Women in Business, a show that profiles women, executives, and even the next door store owner, showcasing Igbo greatness to the world.
I started always obsessed with books ever since I was a child.
The stress of always converting naira to dollar and
an incompetent means an incompetent person.
What are your thoughts on the spate of sex for grades in Nigerian universities?
This very issue of owing salary should be criminalized.
How can they amplify their voices?
People don't have evidence.
You want to get to know about it? Have to stay tuned right here on Afia Morning Show to get the pulse and the feel of that.
Welcome to the latest and most amazing show on here. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lunch Break.
You don't sing along.
I did single. For real.
You're not a backup singer.
I said they do that.
Opinion of the people matters.
Everything to your label.
Nobody wants to hear your voice if you don't have the money. This is Obwe.
Hey ladies, join us on Gyna Plus every Wednesday at 6 p.m. right here on Afia TV, DSTV channel 254 and GoTV channel 17, where we will delve.
To Afia TV News tonight, and our conversation centered around malaria. Today's World Malaria Day, and of course on the theme Malaria Ends With Us, Reinvest, Reimagine and Reignite. The Federal Capital Territory Administration has reiterated its commitment to fighting malaria and other vaccine-preventable diseases, and the Mandate Secretary for Health Services and Environment Secretariat, Dr. Adedolapo Fashawe, made the pledge on Friday at the commemoration of the 2025 World Malaria Day themed Malaria Ends With Us, Reinvest, Reimagine, Reignite. According to the World Health Organization, the 2024 annual report for malaria revealed that 1 in 4 malaria cases and 1 in 3 malarial deaths worldwide occur in Nigeria. Fashawe said in the FCT, malaria affects an estimated 18.8% of the population, with rural communities experiencing the highest transmission rates. Well, joining me now is Dr. Chikezie Obasi, and he's first a medical doctor, but then he is a Secretary Guild of Public Affairs Analyst in Enugu. Good evening, Doc, and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Grace.
It's good to have you. All right, so let's start with one question that I've always wanted to ask. Why we have a lot of malaria drugs these days that no longer is effective for the treatment of malaria. So people just complain and, well, they take a dose of malaria drugs, and even the pharmacists will advise you to maybe take another, maybe by injection, or because they just tell you, well, you know the way things are now, and maybe some of the substances used for making these drugs have been subsidized, you know, so they're a bit substandard, if you ask me, so that it doesn't really take away malaria like when we were growing up. When you took a dose of malaria, it's malaria drug, it's just fine.
Okay, good evening, viewers. First, you know, clearly, we just asked a question that has actually been bothering everybody within the medical field. More recently, we noticed that some of the medications that are used in treating anti-malarials we have are not really as effective as they used to be. Currently, we are combining ACT, that's artemisinin, with combination therapy, which makes it imperative that artemisinin must be there. And you add another drug, sometimes mefloquine, sometimes lumefantrine, sometimes amodiaquine to the medication. For normal malarias we have, even in severe cases, we still utilize that. But more recently, we begin to realize that sometimes we should come back with some symptoms and probably the test is not good. But let's quickly run down to why we have that. First is we could be having some resistance naturally, you know. These organisms mutate, you know, to overcome, the treatment we are giving. Remember, this treatment is like killing them. So it's natural for one to, for anybody to try to do some preservation, self-preservation. So that's one. Number two, we are witnessing cases that today we have a lot of counterfeit drugs, which that has to do with the domain of NAFDAC. Recently, we saw NAFDAC moving from one end of the, drug market to another drug market in the country, using counterfeit goods out of standard goods. Then thirdly, the preservation of these drugs might be some difficulty, even when they're original, but they are not preserved well. Another is the issue of taking medication. You could have people who are taking, below the quantity and the quality of the drugs they are taking. Not everybody will be able to take some medications, as in, like you and I, depending on our age and our sex, age and our weight, we have different components of taking these drugs. So these are other factors, including people not putting up to standard in whatever medication. I mean, the quality control becomes a difficult one. So, and remember, so many of these drugs are imported. So what happened abroad, many of our NAFDAC leaders are not privy to that. So that's what I would say, that we got this, handy in our hands. But what we just mentioned is just the treatment. For us in public health, we lay very much emphasis on prevention. And I can tell you that as bad case as it is today, Nigeria is the world capital of malaria burden. Like Riley pointed out, 1 in every 4 Nigerians, 1 in every 4 malaria cases in the world appears to be in Nigeria. And 1 in every, 32% of the death cases in Nigeria, and 1 in every 3 happen to be, of malaria worldwide to be Nigerians. So we have a whole lot of burden about malaria. And I can tell you that beyond treatment, we still have other effective mechanisms of preventing malaria. The first is what we're doing right now, which is education. You need to educate people that the dangers of malaria. So you take care of your environment. You'll be able to remove stagnated water. Now we are entering rainy season. Make sure that all these waterproofs and on the nylon bag, plastics, tires, rid of water content so that it doesn't allow mosquito to breed. Then the second option we have is by trying to use a way to stop the mosquitoes from coming in. And one of those ways is you can actually spread. At this time around, probably they have survived within the environment. You can spread DDT, you can have indoor sprays, you can have outdoor sprays to make sure that these malarias, mosquitoes are warded off or killed. Then again, within that realm, you can actually apply your mosquito nets. You have two. First, the one we actually put on our windows. Many of us know we beg people to put insecticide-treated, mosquito nets. And the second option is one we sleep in. So we sleep under a fully insecticide-treated mosquito net and to prevent us. Now, Nigeria has done a little bit further in the last few years. They began to introduce vaccine against malaria. So from that 5 children, we are mostly vulnerable to this illness. So I believe that these are preventive strategies we are doing. Before we come to the point where somebody is ill, what does he do? So I think for sure, your question is apt, is on point, and your observation will not be wished away. And I tell you, it's not easy on us as medical practitioners.
I think one of the most abused drugs would be malaria drugs, because everybody, it's like their personal doctor when it comes to malaria. Oh, you got malaria. But the one that really, gets to me is the populace that still gets used to going to the little chemist shops where they say, organic selumogo, So I don't know, what's the plan for such people to get the awareness to them that they have to stop mixing all of those concussion, and also to the elite populace that just feels, well, it's just malaria, even without going for a lab test, how we can send that sensitive message to them that they need to get tested before they treat themselves. My time is up, but please do justice to this quickly.
Quite clearly, as quickly as I could, there's nothing more we can do other than doing 2 things. First, our health insurance is mandatory, and I believe that every state government should work out towards, making people pay, get into health insurance, so as to eliminate the cost people, they are trying to go to the hospital, doing the right thing. Like Randy pointed out, many people do not even test before giving the anti-malaria, and probably because of cost. So cost is a huge, impediment to, to treatment in Nigeria. So I will first of all say we encourage people to go to health insurance. It could be as low as 1,000 to 2,000 naira a month, and you are guaranteed when you are ill. You go to the hospital and you pay little or nothing, to access healthcare. That's one. Number 2, we can't relent. We keep on talking, we're educating our people, especially on the preventive measures, the ones that are within their scope, clearing the bushes around, where, spraying a DTT, insecticide, outdoor mosquito insecticide treatment, and then, that things that will necessitate you are not missing malaria. But more importantly, once a child has got a fever, because this was against children, child has got fever, please take this child to the hospital. Malaria is one illness that will shock the parents that within 2 days a child becomes ill. If not properly handled, a child could develop anemia. It's a complication that many of us do not really like.
All right, we'll have to stop the conversation here, but I think we need to do more advocacy on malaria, even though it feels, very common, but I think we need to really keep our eyes on that and then see how we can eradicate it totally from our environment and from our people. Thank you so much, Doctor, for telling us how it is tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, amazing. Good night.
Good night. And just before we go, here's a recap of the top stories. Governor Mba has identified cotton farming as a veritable venture for economic diversification. In Abuja, Senate Committee oversees 2025 UTME. And on our business desk for tonight, NEC has approved the establishment of Cotton and Textiles Board. On the foreign scene, Trump's envoy with CAF has met Putin for the 4th time. That's all we have tonight on Afia TV News, streaming live from Enugu, Nigeria. And on behalf of the entire production team, I am Amazing Grace Ajayi. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Good night.